Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Shank Knits. My name's May and this is Knit With Me number 12. I'm really loving the way that this wall is coming together behind me. I kind of want to give you a little tour of it even though it's not done yet. And I have like a pile of stuff over there to put up here too, but I just thought my time was better used this afternoon recording this than like fixing up my wall. Okay, so FOs are a little funny this week because I have like two half FOs, but I can't add them together and call them one because they are completely different. So I finished my Tauwee Miz tutorial. So I have one completed Tauwee mitt to show you. This is actually my second time knitting this pattern, so it's my third Tauwee mitt altogether. It's by Susan Stats, aka Knit Lib, and I love it so. The tutorial was really fun to make. I've mentioned a million times recently, but I'll mention again. I knit this holding two fingering weights together. I use my own hand-dyed yarn from Knit Picks Bear Stroll Base. And that's the purpley color. And then this incredibly soft Leo and Roxy 80/20 sock and quartz. Just gorgeous, this combination. I've only hand-dyed yarn for fun, and I am nowhere close to dyeing for others yet, but it's been like a fun experience. So the tutorial was neat to make. It was my third one. And this time I just aimed for it to be a video that would like guide someone through the process of knitting this, and all they would need to know how to do it, like to start, is just knitting and purling. And I think I got it. I would love for you to take a peek at it. Let me know what you think. But yeah, I think it's a pretty easy to follow video. So that's one FO, literally one. And then my second FO, which is also one of a pair, is my first Spring Bloom sock for my test with the Knit Savvy. So I'm loving this pattern so much. I'm actually going to write a pattern notes post about it because it's so good. It is so well constructed and so cute at the same time. I love it. There's shorties for spring, perfect for sneakers, and I love this detail on the front. So cute. I use the Forbidden Fibers Glutton sock in Scarlet Witch from their Marvel themed Sock Yarn of the Month Club ages ago. And this is probably my favorite sock yarn club I've ever been in. I've been in a few of them because I really love how sparkly and soft these yarns are. Just the right amount of sparkle, so cute and soft. This yarn makes socks that are like really comfortable to wear. So I still have one more fingerless mitt and one more sock. And you know what? I'm actually going to talk about the construction of the sock a little bit because it's amazing. So instead of the gusset decreases happening where you would expect them to, they happen on the bottom of the foot, which I think is bananas. And when I was doing it, I thought like, for sure you're gonna feel this, it's gonna be uncomfortable, right? But it's not, like at all. It's amazing. I'm really, really impressed. I feel like I'm not capturing it well right now, but I'm going to do a post about it and take good pictures of it and show it to you because it is really, 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 really cool. And I've knit a lot of socks. I've never come across gusset decreases on like the bottom of the foot before. Okay, so two half FOs, no actual FO. And moving on, I have whips galore, but I think I'm only going to talk about two of them, or I'll talk about them. I'm only going to show you two of them. So I have my New Wave socks by Sacha Coburgan that I'm knitting in a combination of the Riverside Super Sock and Mondim, but I have not touched them at all this week, so there is no new news there. And I also have not touched my Folklore cardigan, but I did, like I touched it, but I haven't knit on it. I did go back to make sure that I was following the pattern correctly because I'm sure I mentioned that I thought I had moved on to like the sleeve, but it was actually the front panel, which was a really weird mistake to make, like one of the two front panels. But I'm on track. So it is one of the front panels, so that's fine. I just really want to finish it so that I can wear it to walk Nacho. Like it just feels like it's going to be a really fun dog walking sweater to throw on. Right now, my dog walking sweater is a cotton hoodie from my oldest kid's college, which is fine. You know, like I always wear sweaters from my kids' schools, but I literally wear it every single day. So like my whole neighborhood just sees me in this like sweater from this college everybody knows about. Which is fine, but then you can never see what else I'm wearing. So just like, I'm just always wearing one sweater. So a cardigan would be fine because then you can see whatever else I'm wearing underneath it, or I can have it buttoned up or whatever. But yeah, looking forward to actually wearing this out. I'm doing it in Paintbox Simply Aran, and it's really made me a big fan of Paintbox. I actually used also Simply Aran for Nacho's Nordic Paw sweater earlier this year. I've been using it exclusively in my dog sweater designs. Like I'm using it elsewhere, but it's the only yarn I'm knitting my dog sweaters in, because it's washable, it's durable, it never bothers Nacho's skin, it's super warm. So yeah, TLDR, I did not knit on this at all this week either. Why? Well, I'm so glad you asked. Well, because my Mini Vee Tee test for Nicole Thorson, aka Thorson Knits, has been a bit of a disaster. Not because of the pattern. The pattern is excellent. I have found no errors in it at all, and it's flawless. It's me. So I started knitting this in the Sandnes Garn's Petit knit collab of the Sandnes Garn yarn called Sunday. It's a lovely 100% merino non-superwash yarn. I bought this when it first came out, and the colors in the Petit knit line are so beautiful. So I started in this, the Raspberry Sorbet color, and I'm obsessed. It's gorgeous. And I will also say I have frogged this and restarted knitting it several times, and it's never split. It doesn't get splitty. And a lot of the time, you know, like you'll drop some like money on yarn and then it splits if you have to frog it, which sucks. So that's not the case. This is great. You can frog it and do it again, and it doesn't cause me any problems. But every time I frogged it and went back to it, I saw no improvement. Like, it's me. I realize it's me. It's not the yarn and it's not the pattern. It is me with a combination of these two. Like I just could not get proper gauge for some reason. So I ended up going up a needle size and then of course up another needle size, which seems to have created the problem that I had not encountered before. So with larger needles and a fingering weight yarn, my stitches are awful. Like, it's embarrassingly awful. Like, what is this? Awful. Like I mentioned last week, actually I filmed it and showed you last week how wonky my stitches were, and I had to frog this multiple times as I just mentioned, and I still ended up with slanted stitches, uneven stitches, there's like bumpy textured stuff happening, there's like holes happening in here and there, there's one, like what is going on? Like, and like they're not holes from drop stitches, they're holes from like accidentally adding a stitch, like total amateur hour around here. And after 19 years of knitting, this is pretty bad. So I had finished this is the armpit side, okay? I had finished, like, this is the V. So this is like the rest of the front, and then this is where the V is, and then we're coming, okay. So I had gotten this far, and then I found this hole. Can we find it here? There it is, see? I found this hole, put my hair in the background so you can see it, and I just could not live with this. And then of course I started looking at all of it, and I'm like, am I even gonna wear it? Like, it's so disappointing. So that's when I decided I was going to message Nicole and just tell her, like, what was going on. And I just wanted to ask her, like, how she felt about me trying this pattern in a different yarn, because it obviously is not, you know, what the pattern was written for. And I wanted to try it, like, in a DK. And I got her blessing to try it out. She, you know, said, whatever yarn you want, as long as you get gauge. And you guys, that was last night. And I am already so much further along than I was after just a day than I was when I was using fingering weight. And I know, like, duh, obviously, I've knit with fingering weight way more than any other weight, but mostly it was like all socks. So it's like a 2 millimeter, you know, or maybe like a 2.5 millimeter or something. This top was started on a 3 millimeter, I think, or it might even have been a 3.5, honestly, and it was a mess. And when I look back on my sweaters, they're usually DK, worsted, even the fingering weight sweaters that I've done were held like with mohair, so it gives a little more chunk to it, I guess. I think I may just not be a fingering weight sweater knitter, which, you know, a couple years ago I would be sad about, because like one of my bestest friends is an amazing fingering weight knitter, but I'm fine with it. Sweaters come together so fast when they're DK or Aran or worsted or pretty much anything other than fingering. Even my Tauwee Miz, they came together so fast, like they flew off the needles with fingering held double. So yeah, my Mini Vee Tee is now being knit in the Always Beautiful Harrisville Daylights in 826. It's a DK, 100% wool. It's actually 20% wool and 80% Cormo wool, which is a wool from a specific breed of sheep. It's a really nice yarn with a very subtle color, almost like a muted pistachio, and it has tiny flecks. Like there's one tiny fleck in there. It has tiny flecks in them, and then it's nice to kind of see them sort of pop out in the fabric. And honestly, this is coming together so quickly that I bet you that this little strip of ribbing, that this little strip of ribbing is going to be an FO next week. I I really think so. And I'll keep track of what day it happened on, because I'm filming this on Friday. I'm actually filming this on Friday for like the third time because my phone is doing a thing, and that's how I'm recording right now. So hopefully this actually works. I'll be very disappointed if it does not. But anyway, so now I'm really not sure what to use my sweater quantities of fingering weight yarns for. I have like 2 for sure, maybe 3. I guess I could make tanks from them and just hold them double, or like use them for scrappy socks or my beekeeper's quilt. Or I could probably I could trade them for DK weights maybe. I will ask my knitting group about that today, actually. So yeah, the Mini Vee Tee by Nicole Thorson. It's great, and I can't wait to be wearing it next week to show you, because it's a really fun pattern. Nicole's super helpful. She's great to test for. Yeah, so I will report back next week. I really enjoy test knitting because I'm always learning so much from it. Like obviously I learn from just knitting patterns that catch my eye, but it's really neat to be in a setting where like I have direct access to the designer to be able to ask questions as they come up, and then like apply the answers right away. And I love being part of the testing process. Like it is a neat way to learn. Yeah, so it's hard to not just join everyone that like I see. The only other whip that I have is my beekeeper's quilt, and this week I have 3. Well, I have 2 and this much, but like there's like, I don't know, 3 rows left. So I'm going to call it 3. I feel like it's cheating if I hold on to this until next week. So 3 puffs, 1, 2, 3. And this one is actually a really funny mix of 3 different yarns. We've got Riverside on the bottom, Crux in the middle, and Forbidden Fibers on top. This one is Hue Loco halfway in Bashful, and then the rest of it is Crux Fibers from my Advent a couple years ago. And actually, so this one is a mix. It's striped, variegated Riverside, and I mean the other one, the one from Hue Loco is variegated too, but it's like this one, Bashful, and Riverside. The name I do not know because I lost the band ages ago. I think I mentioned why last week. I got into making a lot of like headbands a while ago, like for warmth, and I just hold 2 Riverside Super Socks together, and it makes stuff like this, you know, like it makes combinations you're not sure how they're going to turn out until they start coming together. So yeah, I just ripped them all open when I bought them, and I have no idea what they're all called, but I did discover something neat when I was making this the other day. So the striping is actually, I first started doing it just for like fun, but it actually serves like a practical purpose. So if you cast on with, you know, one color, and then the next row is an increase row, then that's a different color. And then you're back to regular knitting, your regular knitting color. You know what I mean? So you're always knitting with one particular color, and then you're always doing an increase or decrease with the other color. I know it's not brain surgery. Like I realize it's not really hard to keep track of if you're on an increase or decrease when you're like just sitting and knitting puffs, or even like sitting and knitting puffs and like watching TV or something. But when I'm playing Chinese checkers at night, and I'm knitting at the same time, because it's not, at the beginning it's kind of nonstop, you're playing Chinese checkers and the board's going around a lot, but then eventually it's like people are really strategizing their moves. So there's breaks in between when it's your turn, and there's 5 of us, so I have to wait for 4 turns. So obviously I'm knitting while I'm waiting for my turn, so I lose track pretty quickly. I don't even need to really keep track because I'm always just doing, you know, two needles worth of a yarn at a time. Yeah, anyway, I know it's not hard to go back and check, but I love that I don't have to this way. Anywho, so that's more talk about puffs than anybody needed, but I have 3 for this week, and so that brings my grand total puffs to 564. Please recall that I'm going for 1,000, so 564 this week. I've also been working on some of my own designs, all dog related, and I'm very excited to show you some of that stuff when it's like ready to be shown. not today. I just ordered actually a whole lot of pink box cotton yarns from Lovecrafts to experiment with and knit up some prototypes so I can release one this summer. And actually right now I'm working on something that I won't probably release until the fall because I have the yarn already and I just really wanted to see like this idea come to life. I'm going to also take the tech editor course through the Knitters Guild, even though I know it's not specific to dog patterns, obviously, but I think it's a good background to have in general. And I have some ideas on sizing that I'm really excited to kind of share and make be part of my patterns, just so that my patterns can be made for everyone from like Chihuahuas to Golden Retrievers and like everybody in between. And so you can adjust them for more like oddly shaped dogs like Nacho. No offense, Nacho. But like he's a chug mini pin. So he's got Chihuahua and Pug mostly, but then some mini pin, and that gives him long legs. And then his legs, like the arms, his front legs, they're shaped more on his body like a larger dog. But obviously the rest of him, you know, is not. And I feel like that's a big problem in dog knitwear. That like it's, you know, a lot of the time when you get these patterns, like this is for a Pug, this is for a Chihuahua, this is for whatever. Whereas like I want to make patterns where you can knit it for a Chihuahua or a Golden Retriever. So like, you know, no doggo is left out. So yeah, knitwear design for dogs is as fun as I thought it was going to be, which is awesome. And I can't wait to finally release a pattern this summer. So yeah, that's it for this week. A little shorter, but so much has been learned about myself and my knitting, and some new designs are happening too. So I'm just going to abruptly end this here. I'll abruptly end this here by reminding you that if you like daily knitting content, you can follow me over on Instagram for that. I am Mrs. Shank Knits there. And if you like these kinds of knitting podcast type videos and tutorials, subscribe to my channel for more and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Thanks guys. Bye.